One thing I can guarantee, there'll be no singing, no stand-ups, no tripods. Well, I don't know, we've got a little bit of rivalry here already, but welcome to the Europa Hotel for something that I'm very, very excited about. You know, I was just talking to a couple of our friends there about bringing value to fight fans, and I can't remember the last card that had value like this. I know that the Belfast fans have been crying out for a prize fighter for a long time, and obviously, you know, we had to get Paul McCloskey at a big fight, and we've decided to put everything together. And then along came Martin Lindsay as well, and we decided to put that on the bill. So when you're talking about value for big cards and fight fans, I can't see any more value than what we're going to put on Saturday, May the 5th at Cool. Just to introduce the whole table, and I want everybody to say a few words here at the table later on, because I think as prize fighter, what you're going to learn about, prize fighter is all about characters, personalities and individuals. And here we've got 8 great fighters coming from across Ireland, bringing huge support on what's going to be a historic night. The first ever prize fighter, Irish, all Irish prize fighter, and probably something that may not even happen again. Certainly won't happen for many, many years. And actually, originally we looked at England versus Ireland, and I was inundated with requests, probably nearly 20 requests from middleweights and light middleweights and super middleweights, Irish fighters trying to get into this event. And when I looked at the pedigree of the fighters who wanted to be involved, it was an easy decision to make it an all-Irish event. So I'm delighted with the lineup, and I know I've got a history of telling everybody before every prize fight that this is the best lineup yet. But actually, if you look at the individuals involved, you know, I really think this is the best lineup yet. And of course, a historic night, the first time it's going to be an all-Ireland event. I also got to take my hat off to a lot of the fighters who are putting their records on the line. You see what prize fighter brings in terms of catapulting your career, taking out the whole domestic scene and moving straight onto a big title shot. So, you know, these guys are putting it on the line. And you know, although I don't like to tell people this, losing in prize fighter is not the end of the world. You're going to expose yourself to a huge audience. You're going to put yourself in big fights, no matter win, lose or draw on the 5th of May. You're going to be in big fights from now, but the winner is quite literally going to change their life. £32,000 and a guaranteed title shot at the end of it, because for us, this is a 3-fight plan in Belfast in 2012. You know, we're looking at May the 5th, and then we're looking at end of June, early July for Carl Frampton in a big fight here, and then September, another big fight for Paul McCloskey. So the winner of this prize fighter series, we want them to feature on the Carl Frampton bill, and we want them to feature as well on the Doody bill in September as well. So the winner's going to have big spoils. Just to introduce the whole table, and I'll do my very best to remember everyone. At the end, we've got Ryan Green. That's right, isn't it, Ryan?
Yep.
Right, good man. From Lurgan, I've done a little bit of research, so I'll try to explain. From Lurgan, huge following. You know, we're delighted to have Ryan involved. Simon O'Donnell, heard a lot about Simon. Obviously trains in the UK with Jim McDonald and James the Gale's gym there in Loughton. Got a big reputation. Mark Heffron, who, you know, originally has been boxing at welterweight and light middleweight, but stepping up, a huge talent. A lot of people are talking about him in the UK, and again puts an unbeaten record on the line. Martin Lindsay, who obviously is hopefully not making middleweight for this prize fighter. But you know, Martin's someone who's been out for a while now, and obviously when you're promoting any show, you want people involved who are quality fighters and huge ticket sellers. And Martin is just that. And Martin's part of our 3-fight plan moving forward in 2012. I know he's got a fight coming up in a couple of weeks in London, then he's going to be here fighting at the King's Hall on May the 5th. And then we want him out again on the Carl Frampton show in June, and looking at a title fight in June on that show, or in September on Paul's bill. So, you know, he's going to be a resurgence, and obviously a very popular guy, a big ticket seller. Anthony Fitzgerald, who is a bit of a living legend in these parts, you know, and particularly in Dublin. Outspoken. I know that his good friend Joe Rear's down here, and they'll have a little chat later. But you know, we need personalities and we need characters in prize fighter, and I think Anthony's just that. We'll come back to Paul shortly, obviously. And Darren Cruz, the one from the end there, obviously coming up from Roscommon. I think, if I've got my research right, the only ever professional fighter from Roscommon. Is that right? If it's not right, it is now. You're the only ever professional fighter.
What about Jim Colley?
Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. But he's bringing up a big support for him. JJ Madonna down the end, got a big reputation, big banger. Joe Rear, who I promised in a bar after Paul's win over Brados Prescott, he'd had a few Coronas, but I said to him, he said to me, I didn't really understand what he said, but I heard the word prize fighter. And I said, you got it. And when we announced this, he was straight on to me, and we're delighted to have Joe in, because Joe's going to give it 1,000,000%, as all these boys will. You know, it's the world title shot for every one of them. You know, when you've got someone putting it all on the line, do or die on May the 5th, you know he's going to put it on the line. And I dread to think what Joe Ray is going to do with 32,000 pounds. I mean, it's a frightening. You know, I mean, he might spend it in the bar after, but it doesn't matter. I'll be there to have a few pints.
I have an idea what Anthony would do with it.
I know, exactly. And obviously Eamon O'Kane, who's teaming up with Matchroom. Eamon's actually out on March the 17th at the Kell Brook show next Saturday. Been sparring with George Groves. We won't tell you what he's been up to there, but I don't think George enjoyed it too much. But I think that bottom line is Eamon is a tremendous talent, former gold medalist at the Commonwealth Games, and again shows what this lineup is all about, because the quality running through these 8 fighters is fantastic. And again, taking my hat off to all of them for putting it on the line, because the winner is going to really move on to big things. The middleweight division is a fantastic division at the moment. Obviously you've got our own Darren Barker, you've got Matthew Macklin fighting next Saturday against Martinez, you've got Martin Murray, and then so many good young prospects, 8 of which are here today, and in the UK as well, Ryan Aston, our middleweight, John Ryder, our middleweight. Such a great division, but the winner here is going to catapult themselves to big things and a title shot. So they're the prize fighters and Martin Lindsay, and we'll hear from them shortly. But a few words about this man on my left, Paul McCloskey. Was obviously in a big fight against Julio Diaz, 2-time world champion. It's been a very frustrating period for us as a promotional team in looking after what was probably one of our most enjoyable nights in beating Brady's Prescott. Just an unbelievable fight where Paul basically come back from the depths of potential defeat in the early rounds and showed so much bottle and guts, to go on and win that fight. In this division, in all divisions, it's very difficult to manufacture a title shot, but what you've got to keep doing is you've got to keep banging on the door, you've got to keep showing people you've got huge support, showing the broadcasters you're willing to go into big fights all the time in front of big audiences. That's what we did against Brady's Prescott. I was convinced we'd get a world title shot after that. We haven't, and that's very disappointing. We made Madonna a great offer, and then what's even more disappointing is he takes less money to fight a 10-rounder against Devon Alexander, at welterweight, and loses. So the bottom line is I've said it before, Marcus Madonna isn't that good. There is no way Marcus Madonna would beat Paul McCloskey in Belfast, and I think that's something that factors into his mind when making a decision. You're going over there to effectively lose your title, and that's a problem we have to overcome in choosing any opponent to fight Paul McCloskey. It was important for us to get a name, to get someone who's recognised and has achieved something within the sport. I'm pleased with Julio Diaz. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's the most amazing opponent ever. What it is a top quality fighter who's operated at a high level and won 2 world titles. So for Paul it's a case of going out there looking very impressive again. And again get straight back out in September. Obviously he's got the birth of his child coming up in a week or this weekend hopefully. So get that out of the way, get out on May the 5th, great atmosphere, produce a fantastic performance, and then straight back out in September. And I know you guys are going to have some questions about who that might be, and the answer is we need a world title fight. But if they're not there, it gets to a stage where I speak to Francie and say, what are we going to do? We can't just sit on our asses all day and hope that we get a shot. We've got to get out there, earn money, and do what he does best, which is fight. So I know that a lot of these guys at this table haven't experienced these kind of press conferences before, but tough shit. You're all going to have to say something now. I want you to tell everybody who you are, where you come from, about your career, and about your hopes and dreams for May the 5th, starting down the end with our man from Lurgan, Brian Green.
I've had 4 fights, and every one of my opponents has hit the ground so far, and I'm a bit of a banger, and I like to come forward and fight, and that's the one. I want to thank Matchroom for giving me this opportunity to come and have a go and boost my career, and if I win this year, it's gonna, it's really gonna help me and my family and just do better things. So just want to thank everybody for this opportunity.
Good man. Simon?
My name is Simon O'Donnell. I'm from London, originally from Galway. I was boxing over in the States for a little while in Philadelphia. Back home, thanks to Eddie Matchroom for giving me the opportunity. And I'm with the rest of the boys about a minute to win it. So, looking forward to May 5th.
Good man. Mark?
Yeah, my name is Mark from Manchester Oldham. And I'm looking forward to it. I've 5 fights, 105. So I can't wait for it to win it.
And chance to surpass your brother
Yeah.
as well. Because, you know.
Yeah, I've got a brother who's good as well.
Yeah, but when you won this, he'll be the forgotten man.
Yeah.
We'll come back to Martin in a minute. And a very quiet Anthony Fitzgerald, I think, has got a few words to say.
At the minute, I'm very quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, well, as you all know me, basically. But I'm looking forward now to May 5th to winning prizefighter. I'm not in it just to box. I'm in it here to win it now, and wish all the lads the best of luck. But I'm the one winning it.
Eamon, back from the start from George Grove.
Yeah.
Looking well.
No, what's up, lad? I did 3 weeks sparring with him, so in preparation for Kenny Anderson. As you know, I mean, when he came on a gold medal in Commonwealth Games, I was bronze medal in the Europeans with a good amateur career. Now he's moving on for this professional career, and 3 fights within a year, and won them all 3 of them comfortably. And really looking forward to practice. I love watching it on TV. I think it suits my style down to the ground because all action. I don't have to, in this competition. You don't have to go chasing your opponents because they have to engage in the fight if they want to win the fight over 3 rounds. So that's exactly what I want, and I can't wait. And I know these guys are all great Irish fighters and they're going to come to fight. That's exactly what everybody wants to see, and I can't wait to win it.
Good man. Joe?
First of all, I'd like to thank Eddie for saying I would done it. It's a man of his word, and said I've had to take the hard route as a fighter travelling around Europe. Find a lot of the top fighters, but it's my chance to turn my career on, and I plan on doing it through prizefighter.
Good man.
My name is Darren Cruz. I'm from Castlereagh in Roscommon. I'd just like to point out what Jerry said as well. I'm the first Roscommon boxer in nearly 100 years.
Yeah, Jim
Since
Cully
Jim-
did.
Yeah,
I've heard my story.
that's right. But I won't disregard him. I've had 4 fights so far. I've had 3 and 1. I've been in boxing 15 years since I was 7. I have a good amateur pedigree behind me. I'm in this prizefighter the same as everybody else here to win it. I have a lot of respect for all the fighters here, and I wish them all the best of luck in their preparation and everything. And on the night, let the best man win. And I'd like to thank Eddie here and his team as well for giving me the opportunity to be in this prizefighter and hopefully change my life.
Good man. JJ?
Yeah, my name is JJ McDonough. 26 years old from Westmead, 1 year. Just want to thank everyone that got me into the prizefighter. I'm here to win it, same as everyone else. Everyone has a good chance of winning it. Just want to say thank you for the opportunity to box.
Good man. Thanks everybody. A good example for any young fighter. And I think you're going to see that exemplary behaviour hopefully from everybody in the build up to this. It's going to be a long build up. Obviously we're not ready till May the 5th, but we're going to be having numerous press conferences over here and also in the lead up to the fight and an exciting weigh-in as well. And some very special guests on the night. Some old Irish middleweights will be showing their faces, which I'll tell you more about later. Just over to Paul McCloskey now, ahead of his fight against Julio Diaz. Say a few words, Paul, obviously. And one thing I would say, which I have to take my hat off for Paul McCloskey, is we must have mentioned 35 opponents to Francie over the last 4 months. And there wasn't one opponent that Paul McCloskey said no to. So, you know, I'll take my hat off for that. And he really, even down to, you know, Juan Manuel Marquez, who actually made an appearance late on, probably about 2 weeks ago, and just a glimmer of hope for that fight. I actually phoned up Francie and you know, Francie said, yeah, we'll have that. And I thought, oh, you're brave. What about asking Paul? You know, and he went on and asked Paul, and the response was exactly the same. So I have to take my hat off to him. He's at a stage of a career now where he's willing to fight anybody. You know, and I have to take my hat off to that, and looking forward to another big win on May the 5th.
Well, the only other people would turn around was the Klitschko's.
Well, yeah.
But you know, it's good to be back. Had a good break after the press golf fight. It's been a long time now, and I've been myself very fit. I've been in the gym working hard, you know, since Christmas, with the possibility of fighting before May the 5th, obviously. I'm in quite good shape at the moment, you know, so I'm trying to have another good camp here, which I'm already started on, you know. I think it's going to be a great night because the prize fighter all coming